Hello, I'm back. I'm back from all those wonderful travels that I've been doing, and I do hope to be doing some more travels very soon. But I'm back at home, and we're going to do more of the more frequent videos now, which means the house is going to be featured a little bit more frequently, and some of the jobs that I have to do, starting with this one. Well, apart from nearly breaking my foot with this wretched thing, it's actually very useful. This is a little fire guard type thing that hangs in front of the fire when you're cooking, because it's got a glass front normally and the heat can come through. So if you're standing up the top here and you're cooking, especially if you're, say, in shorts or you're a female with a skirt on, the last thing you want is to burn your legs, so it can act as a bit of a screen just to reduce the heat coming in. It's very useful, and it slides backwards and forwards. Yeah, it doesn't help though if you drop it on your feet. So what I was going to say is, one of the jobs I have to do is I used to do it every week, but now I find I only really need to do it every month. Is to give the Esse a jolly good clean. So that's what I thought I'd just quickly do. And then there's lots of other little sort of menial jobs to do in the house. Right, so I need a brush and get rid of the ash, and then just get rid of some of the clinker. A lot of people might think it's a bit of an effort, you know, to clean out the Esse twice a month or once a month or whatever. All that's taking it apart, stripping it down, getting it down. Actually, I quite enjoy it. I mean, I'm fortunate that I've got the time in between making the videos, or indeed I can make a video about doing just that, and it adds to it really. I guess if you're one of these people who have to work 9 to 5 and you leave early in the morning and you've got a bit of travelling and you come back and it's just an extra job, then I can see that it could be a bit problematic. But to me, cleaning the fire as well as lighting the fire and getting the fire going is part of that, the old way of doing, excuse me, the old way of doing things. And I love that. I love the older, more gentler, plodding way of doing things. Maybe it's a maturity thing, I don't know, but that's what I like. So getting your hands a bit dirty, you can wear gloves of course, it's just all part of it. It's that part of being, I don't know, the only way I always describe it is it's sort of primeval, isn't it? I'm not keen on the instant click and it's just done. It's almost like magic. I do like a bit more hands-on. I feel like involved in the process of heating the water and cleaning, heating the water and heating the house and cooking the food, that by maintaining something, you know, it's that sort of love and devotion to your cooker. Not everybody will see that. I appreciate that. Maybe I'm just a quirky old-fashioned guy, but I enjoy it. I really do. Right, I seem to have got pretty much everything done, and the last thing I like to do, and I will put gloves on for this because it can be a little bit messy because I'm going to deal with oil, and that is I like to put a layer of vegetable oil, which I gather originally was manufactured for machines and metal and as an oil. This is sunflower oil, rather than for food. And I also gather that when you cook with things like sunflower oil at a certain temperature, it changes its properties and is not particularly healthy, which is one reason why I've actually stopped using sunflower oil or any vegetable oil apart from olive oil in my cooking. But I do use this because it's relatively cheap to put an oil layer on top of the Esse, and it makes a huge difference. It brings it up, it looks colourful, it's not really inflammable as such, and then as it heats up it burns off, but it's a great exterior cleaning thing. So yeah, if you've never done that on your wood burning stove, it is worth a go. Of course you can buy some polishes as well, and I have got some polish which occasionally I put on, but I think this will do for now, and then the Esse is ready to be lit later on when I next need it. Right, well, that is the Esse done. Looks pretty good, I think. There are a couple of stains on there which I can't quite get off without maybe repainting it or polishing it in a certain way. However, that is a nice job done, and I always feel satisfied and happy when I've got the Esse clean, and it'll fire up lovely with a little bit of dry kindling, and all my logs actually are very dry at the moment, which is nice. I've got some more logs coming this week actually, on Saturday, so that's nice. Another 3 big bags which I will try and find a place to store in the garden. Now there's a couple of things in the van I want to have a quick look at, so let's do that. I've made myself a cup of coffee. Well deserved, I think, well deserved. So here am I back in the van, and so one of the things I wanted to talk about is something that I found brilliant at home that I took in the van and have found brilliant in the van, and I now need to get a second version of it or a carbon copy, whatever, or another set, and that's this steamer. I don't know if you can get a slightly lighter weight one, which would perhaps be good. But this has worked really well when Julia and I have been away, because you only need one hob and you can do all your veg, and it's fantastic. Now I know somebody said, and we joked about it, you know, why don't you just use things like instant food like pot noodles and things like that, and then you can zizz it up with other fruits and stuff. But why bother to start with things like a pot noodle which has a lot of salt and various other horrible things in it? Not saying salt's horrible particularly, but it's got salt in it, or too much salt and various other, you know, process. Why bother with that when you can just cook perfectly good decent food? It's just finding a way to cook it on that one hob. However, I've got a single hob thing, and I'm thinking that what would be good possibly is to get or invest in a 2 hob thing. The problem with vans, and my van, is trying to carry as little as possible but as much as you need, and that can be a dichotomy in which you're trying to work out, well, which is it. So mostly 1 hob is great, and things like that are good, but if you were cooking all your veg and then you wanted to cook some meat to go with it, sorry about the noise, somebody's just going up the supermarket on a trolley or something, you need a second hob, so I need to invest in that. Now Tim's van was really good. If you're a member you would have seen we put a bit in, but I'll put it into the public bit, a little view of Tim's van and what he's done to his van, because it's been absolutely incredible and it's well worth looking at. And you'll see that he has got a double hob and a sink unit that sinks in. So let's have a look at his van and see what he's done, and then we'll come back to more thoughts with me. Let's see if the old gizzard is in. Anybody in?
Morning.
Morning. Can we come in and have a look at a nosy?
Come on in, mate.
Oh.
Come on in, have a few.
Step in onto the palatial carpet, if I may say so, and into the van. Let's get an overview. Wow. Look at this. You have been busy.
Very busy over the last, what is it, must be 10 weeks now?
Yeah, 10 weeks.
10 weeks. Very busy.
Non-stop. So when we last saw it, this was a shell.
Well, Julie was ripping the bulkhead out, if I remember rightly.
That's right. Julia ripped the bulkhead out and she's still got it ready to put it back in again.
So it's not coming back in.
Oh.
No.
And then you'd put a floor in. I think that was the last we saw.
Put a new floor in, carpeted, four-way stretch around various different walls. Obviously haven't finished yet, we've got to go over the ceiling.
Going to go over the top there.
Over the top.
And down this side.
Yeah. Got to finish this off. But had to get things together for this weekend.
Yes. So. And you've done, I mean, it is amazing. You've got in here a fridge.
There's a three-way fridge, 12 volts, 240 and gas, which is running on at the moment.
And the covers of your cupboard are not yet there, but we can see in. Storage space is fantastic.
Lots of storage in there, yeah.
And then at the top, look at this, the piece de resistance, 2 hobs and a sink. The bloody works. And these come down, do they?
It's come down.
Wow, I am jealous. And then you've got your bed area here.
Yep, this turns into a decent sized bed.
And you're going to fit a table in at some point?
Table comes in, it's a fold out table which pops along here to make part of the bed and sits quite comfortably here for you to sit at.
And then also you've got these lovely little lights, little reading lights, so you can see what you're reading in the night.
Yep. 2 of those.
And you've got ceiling lights.
Ceiling lights there. I should probably do better with the ceiling lights, but like I say, it was just a question of making sure we had light for the weekend.
It's bigger than my van, obviously, and slightly taller, so you can stand up. You've got a storage area, and I remember you mentioning that's what you were going to do above the cab.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mess up there, but
look, again, you can see the potential, can't you?
There's huge amount of potential up there. I've got to line it, and I think compartmentalise, I think is the right word, and we'll be away. It's
a fantastic effort, it really is. And so quickly done, and as I say before, I'm very jealous. I mean, I couldn't do what you do because I'm not an engineer, and you also had Rachel helping you making.
Oh, Rachel's been an absolute star, making some cushions. She's made the curtains.
Because she designed the layout, didn't she?
She designed the layout with bits of paper on top of squared paper to make sure things were going to fit, and that was a really, really big help to actually make sure that we got the bits we needed and they were all going to fit where they were going to, rather than just go ho at it. And but yeah,
let's have a look at the cab, because you've done wonders when cleaning the seats. That was all horrid. And because you do have the light through so that you can get extra views.
New windscreen in there because
it was cracked. I remember it being cracked. Yeah.
New tyres have been put on, which I think we've mentioned that in the past.
You did mention that one. But fantastic. So this was the first night, the second night now, because we're on the last day. And how's it been? The overall experience of a van life itself?
It's very good. It's very comfortable. It's got everything we need.
You loved it?
I loved it. Absolutely.
So you will be finishing off and going out for more trips?
The next trip, I hope, is going to get planned when we get home today. I think we might have something coming up in August for a night out. So yeah, it should be good. Should be good.
Well, that is brilliant. And you've got a little portaloo down there, but you didn't need it because this campsite, very lovely loos.
It's got good loos, good showers, so that could have really stayed at home to give us a bit more floor space.
Yeah, but you've got a lovely bit of space in there. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And
how long ago was it we decided that I needed a van?
I don't know, it was in April, mid-April, when we were down in Plymouth.
Yeah.
And you sat in my van at Plimpton.
Yeah.
And you said, got to get a van. And then that played on your mind, didn't it?
It did.
And here you are. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And the van was relatively cheap, but it was high mileage.
High mileage.
But you're not trekking up and down the country using it all day, every day like I am.
It's not going to be a main vehicle. I've got a car, Rachel's got a car, I've got a work van. So this is literally leisure
van, and you can poodle at your heart's content. Well,
Yeah.
I'm so impressed. And the carpet, I have to say, is luxurious. My concern was you were going to be a bit anal about your carpet, because I know what carpets are like in the van.
But as you
You're in
pointed
and
out, it'll clean, it'll brush.
It'll sweep clean so
Yep.
easily, or hoover.
Yeah.
It's great. And at the end of the day, it's about having the doors open, the countryside around you, and just enjoying yourself.
Definitely done that this weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's all your fault.
I know, that was what I was worried about. It's all my fault. But there we are. Look, he looks very content in his van.
Happy.
And Rachel is happy too, even though she won't
come
appear
over
on the
and
camera.
she's very happy.
There you go.
She wants a motorhome, but this is second best at the end of the day.
And he's got here, look, the cheeky bugger. he's got his own free power. And at the back, for those that are interested, here's the garage, as he calls it, with all the bits and bobs. 2 batteries, 2 gas cylinders.
Solar charger in the middle.
Solar charger, oh, that's in there, is
That's
it?
the solar charger. Just off behind the gas bottle on the right hand side is a fuse box, which I've started populating. Needs more doing, but it was all a question of
Time.
and making it work for this weekend.
So there you go. That's how easy it is to put together a van. Not that easy really, but you just need a little bit of knowledge and a big search on YouTube.
Yep, and that's it, go for it.
He's done really well, hasn't he? In so little time, and obviously he's got a lot to do. And he's got a bigger van, as we stated, and it makes just that little extra width and a little bit extra height makes all the difference. I do like his fridge, although he did admit that at night time it did heat up the van, because the fridge, even though he's cut vents into the side of his van to disperse some of the heat, he said it was still coming in, so he's got plans on how to reduce that a bit more. I don't like the idea of cutting into the side of my van, because once you've done that, it's a permanent thing. But I guess he's not going to move the fridge, so I don't think I need to actually have a fridge, because I'm never going to be away long enough. And the small amount of cold food like milk and cheese and butter, I will ration myself so I constantly replace it. I think that would be probably the easiest way for me to go. And indeed when Julia's here. And you're never that far from a convenience shop to buy those sort of things. So I probably won't need that. And a cool box works really well. And we went away for 2 nights, and the cool box was just coming to the end of its cooling process with the fridge ice blocks in there after 2 days. 24 hours, it copes really well. 2 days just beginning to push it. If we go to a campsite and we're able to refreeze the freezer blocks, then that's a good idea. So I think I may have some extra ones in that. The double bed, which involved using these and involved putting up a second basically table in which the spare mattress would go over, does work well. It is a bit of a fag, but it's very sturdy and it does work, so very pleased with that. That's worked well. But at the back here you see where I've got my English flag. That's a 2-tier box system. I would actually like to make that a bit taller and possibly have drawers in it. So I need to think either to buy a unit that will fit in there in perfect size, or create one, which might be the best option, with a flat surface on the top, because actually having a flat surface to put things on, you never can have enough. Otherwise it all ends up on here on the cushion. But I'm very pleased with so far the camping that we've done, and of course Julia and I will be doing more.